Welcome to MojoPlays, and today we'll be looking at the 10 most powerful weapons in Halo.
Before we begin, we publish new content all week long, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.
For this list, we'll be going over some of the most powerful and useful weapons in the Halo games. To be clear, you actually need to be able to use the weapons in the games to qualify. If there's a weapon you and Master Chief consider the most masterful, please tell us in the comments below. Needler. A weapon used by the alien alliance, the Covenant, the Needler appears in nearly every Halo game to date. Roughly pistol-sized, the Needler fires off shards of crystal from which it derives its name. These needles automatically seek nearby targets, so it's like having aim assist built into a gun. Multiple needles hitting the same spot also causes a small explosion with some splash damage to boot. However, the Needler varies in strength depending on the game, as it has frequently been the subject of rebalancing. When it's good, it's really good, and when it's bad, you're better off using your fists. Sniper rifle.
Suck it up, man!
Sniper rifles are powerful in basically every first-person shooter, it just takes some skill to use them, and the Halo series is no exception. In addition to being able to hit enemies or other players from across the map, these guns pack a huge wallop. A headshot or a couple to the torso will take down anything and anyone, except for vehicles, which you can apparently do so in Halo Infinite. And assuming you know what you're doing, it's just as deadly up close, speaking as somebody who's been on the receiving end of a few no-scopes himself. Still, they can take skill or just a lot of luck to hit with, so their power can sometimes go to waste. Rocket launcher.
I'm out of here!
Now, we know with a label like that, it sounds pretty weak, but let me tell ya, the rocket launcher is one of the strongest weapons in the game. Alright, all seriousness, we know, it's a rocket launcher, alright? Rocket launchers pack a huge punch. And although it doesn't have much ammo capacity and its rate of fire is pretty abysmal, the rocket launcher more than makes up for it with tremendous firepower. A direct hit will generally one-shot an opponent, while a few shots are enough to take down all but the largest of vehicles. Some rocket launchers even come with a homing feature, which is particularly useful against airborne enemies. As with most explosives though, there's always a danger of blowing yourself up. Shotgun. When it comes to stopping power, it's hard to go wrong with the classic shotgun. These are great for when enemies get up close and personal, as a few shots from one of these will have them either backing off or dropping to the ground. They're also fantastic for punching through shields, taking down big enemies, and dealing with big crowds of little enemies such as the Flood. Sure, they're basically useless if you're trying to shoot someone from far away, as with any shotgun in a game, but every weapon has its weakness. When it comes to close combat though, there are very few weapons that can match it, and none of them use projectiles. Brute shot. As its name suggests, the Brute Shot is one of the favored weapons by the Brutes in the Covenant, and we can hardly blame them for their preference. It's a grenade launcher with a sword on it! Great for crowd control and personal combat alike, the Brute Shot can be tricky to use, given that it can ricochet, but once you got the hang of it, it's positively deadly. Unlike most other explosive weapons, its rate of fire is much faster. Plus, once you're out of ammo or you need to reload, you can still close distance and slice up your enemies with the back half of it.
The Prophets demand now!
Spartan Laser. As one of the few energy-based weapons, the Spartan Laser is one that's going to take a lot of skill to master. In terms of pure damage dealt, the Spartan Laser is easily in the top tier of Halo weapons. It can plow through multiple people and vehicles with a single shot. However, it does have some severe drawbacks. For one, it's very difficult to aim, even with its distinctive targeting laser, and for another, it takes a long time to charge and recharge, so if you miss, your enemy's gonna get some free shots on you. Gravity Hammer.
Versal pods. Control room's at the top of that tower, Chief. Go!
Another weapon favored by brutes, the Gravity Hammer is among the strongest melee weapons in the Halo series. A veritable hammer of the gods. The Gravity Hammer can knock foes across the map after killing them with one blow, not to mention smash through most vehicles. If you get the timing right, the hammer can even bounce back grenades. And like a lot of these powerful weapons, it does have its downsides. Its uses are limited, you can't move very fast while wielding it, and it really makes you an easy target if you whiff. But there's small prices to pay when you can send your enemies flying higher than the depths of Skyrim. Yeah, you got the power of the giants in your palm. Battle Rifle. Most of the other weapons on this list are more powerful than the Battle Rifle. However, there's something to be said for its versatility. The Battle Rifle has a scope that lets you pick off enemies from longer range, though not as far or as powerfully as the Sniper Rifle. It also has good stopping power up close and can fire in short bursts, which makes it useful when you're surrounded by foes. And while it doesn't have the specialized strengths of other weapons, the Battle Rifle is the go-to gun for many a Halo player, just because it's so useful most of the time. Magnum Pistol. Halo Combat Evolved specifically. Yes, we're getting specific with this one, and we have to go with the Magnum Pistol from the very first Halo game. The Magnum Pistol from Halo Combat Evolved has acquired a near mythic reputation in the years since its release. While it's somewhat exaggerated, there's no arguing that the thing is basically a hand cannon. Not only does it have a fairly accurate scope, but it can kill most enemies in the campaign or multiplayer in 5 shots or less. Unless you're going up against a vehicle, the Magnum is the only weapon you're ever going to need. It's no wonder they nerfed it in every game afterwards. Energy Sword. Come on, what other weapon could we cap off this list with? It's the Energy Sword. Sometimes called plasma swords, these weapons are favored by elites both alien and human. Besides looking sick as hell, energy swords cut through enemies like butter. One good hit is usually enough to down nearly anyone who stands in your way. Like most melee weapons, it requires that you get in close, but once you do, it'll slice and dice like there's no tomorrow. Its energy consumption renders it basically useless after a while, which can be annoying, but if that weren't the case, it would just break the entire game.
Check out these other great clips from MojoPlays, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.